What's going on, everybody? I'm Josh Morris, and you're watching the Everything Paranormal Show. And joining me is Taryn from Paranormal Brew. Taryn,
Hi.
how you doing this evening?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. And for those of you that don't know, Taryn runs Paranormal Brew, which, from what I see, is like a paranormal roundtable, much like mine, a place to discuss and do all kinds of whatever probably floats your boat kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
But yeah, tell the folks a little more about yourself for those that may not be familiar with you.
Yes. Hello. So I am from sadly New Jersey. Um, trying to get out, but yes, I'm from New Jersey. I think I started in the paranormal stuff. 2012, 2013 was in, got into a group and went from there. And with groups, I'm sure everybody knows, comes the political drama, of who's just a lot of stuff that I just wasn't into. I got into this for different reasons, not to be a part of all that stuff. So um, went off on my own, and then joined two other people that I knew. Started Paranormal Brew in 2017. Um, And at first it was just a real podcast. Like we didn't really do anything live on Facebook or anything. And then I discovered Facebook Live, and that's what I started to really like to do. Seem to reach out to more people. Um, and now, because I'm so behind with all kinds of techie stuff and everything, I just started a YouTube page. And so there, and I'm on another streaming page. So now it's my show streams on 3 different sites. So
Awesome. And so, what really got you, like, I guess, go back and what got you into the world of paranormal in the first place?
um interesting for me, it's a little different than what I think most, even my own guests, have always said, like, oh, I grow up like that. I could see things when I was little, but not me. I was the opposite. I There was something, hi, thank you. There was something in the house I was growing up in, but I wanted no parts of it. I was scared. Like I would sleep with, the radio on, light on, you know, my back to my room. I wanted no parts of it. And one time I just had to ask my mom. My mom was like, "Oh yeah, that's just Brad." I'm like, "No, that's not what you don't know," you know.
Right.
um, and then skip ahead a couple years later, she drugged me to Gettysburg. And I say drug at the time because I had no idea how amazing and I would fall in love with Gettysburg. But something happened there that night. And, we were getting ready to leave. At the time, you could be at the park until almost 10 o'clock. And we were getting ready to leave. And I thought she farted. I was like, oh my God, what does that smell? She's like, oh, I thought you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And we're looking at each other. And on her window, it was like these hard bangs, like boom, 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 like shook the window. And I'm not even kidding you. I put my foot on the gas and I took off. I was scared. I was like, what was that? She's like, I want to get out and talk to it. I'm like, drop and roll. I will be back. Like, I want to know. I was like, nope, not.
Right.
Um, and then I don't even know what changed it. I think all of a sudden I did. I had another experience in Gettysburg, and I was like, that wasn't that bad. And I was like, now I'm intrigued, and then I
Right.
started to get into it. And then, you know, started to, research a little bit. I joined a group, and it wasn't until I joined the group and there was they had like 3 months of training. I then realized that I actually did have my first experience when I was about 7. Um, and it was actually, I was underwater. And I remember it was Atzion Lake. If anybody knows Atzion area in New Jersey, that's all Pine Barrens. So it's Batstow Village, you know. Um, and I thought I saw money on the floor of the whatever it is. It's a Cedar Water Lake or something. So I went under to, try to get the money, and this little kid just was like flying at me at a speed I had no idea. And I remember him having just a really, really wide nose, dark hair, and I swallowed water, jumped back, choked, and I was so scared. I was like, I'm not taking money. And I waited, and the kid never came up. Like, I was going to say, sorry, I didn't know that was your money. Like, and he never came up out of the water. So I was like, then, after I started training, I was like, holy shit. Oh, so, can I curse on here? I'm sorry.
No, no, it's okay.
Okay.
No, I cuss all the time in a way, but I don't do it a lot on the show, but it don't matter if you do, it's not a big deal. Like,
okay. But yeah, so, and then, like joining the group and, this is a passion of mine. So, I love every week I have a guest on, and like you said, just whatever comes up, I try to find, I had Men in Black guy on, I had a Bigfoot guy on, I had this past week, he's haunted MD. He's a physician. He's a doctor. He works in the hospital 7 days a week. And then the other 7 days he's off doing paranormal investigations. So
how much have you been able to go out in the field and do things and like take up any kind of just investigations at all? Or have you been mostly focusing to doing the interviews? How does that break out for you?
Well, COVID is obviously tough for all of us, right? It's been, but I'm like been consistent with the show, so every Wednesday, but yeah, no, this got a couple of things coming up. May 7th, I'm going to be investigating at Ghosts of Gettysburg, Mark Nesbitt's store in Gettysburg. And then May 22nd, I'm having some people come down. They're going to start filming a documentary, and we're going to be going into the Pine Barrens. They want to look for Bigfoot, Jersey Devil, and ghosts, I guess, which I'm not convinced Bigfoot and Jersey Devil exist, but that's okay. Hello. I'm interested and intrigued in the research and how they do it. So I want to learn. I want to be educated. It's the main thing. You can never learn enough. And who knows, maybe I'll see Bigfoot, become a believer.
You never know.
You never know. And then Phenomenology in Gettysburg. I'll be there. And Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. I'm a huge Gettysburg fan, in case you guys are catching on.
No, I've heard there's some major and I've seen some videos out of there that were pretty compelling, I gotta say. I've been trying to really debunk a lot of the fake videos, but it seems like Gettysburg's got some pretty serious stuff. My wife shows me videos from there all the time, and a lot of soldier apparitions and stuff. It's pretty wild.
It is. And what's interesting about it is, for me, I don't know, the second I got there, like I said, my mom grudgingly drugged me there because nobody else would go with her. She's like, come on, I just want to go. And I'm like, fine. We get there, and I was like, this is my heaven. Like, I just feel so connected with the place. I have the coordinates tattooed on my arm. I don't know if you can see that. So, and I'm actually doing this in my Gettysburg room. Like, I have Gettysburg stuff all over the place. So anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, Gettysburg. Oh, and then July 24th, Fort Mifflin. Thank God. He messaged me and asked me to come on out. So yeah, so this year, I'm looking to doing a lot. So I'm excited.
Awesome. And you know what? I want to take a moment too, real quick, because we have a lot of people popped in here, and I always try to, I always like to say that this is a show that people can participate in and our live chat. So Tata's in here, Beyond the Veil, which is my wife, Terry Lynn.
Hello.
And Bob Fountain. He writes for Paranormal Underground magazine. Bob, he's a good guy. And BRS Media, Rich, he's in here. And now some of you with the Facebook user, unfortunately, for some reason, it only comes up as Facebook user if they don't give permission or whatever. I don't know. It's weird with StreamYard.
Yeah.
So some of you or one of you that's Facebook user, I can't tell. I apologize, or else I'd shout you out. You might have to put your name in there sometimes. Yeah, because one of them was like, hey, Taryn, and we don't know who you are. But it says, hi, all, welcome. But going back, one of the questions was we're already getting some comments and questions, so that's good. Beyond the Veil, Taryn says, "What is on your shirt?"
Oh, Joe Kenda. I don't know if you guys, Homicide Hunter.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, all right. She was
ID
just
on
wondering.
Discovery.
She couldn't quite tell, I guess, on the thing. So okay, so and then Bob says a little known fact is that 70% of the ghosts from Jersey was from being whacked by the mob, but I could be wrong.
Well, there was a lot of mob around here, that's for sure. Al Capone had had a house in Cherry Hill. So yeah, there was. I mean, that they were actually known for dumping bodies in the Pine Barrens. So that's why the Pine Barrens tends to be a little. I mean, I love Joe Kenda. Yeah, he's awesome. But the Pine Barrens tends to be very. The thing I worry about are the human people that lurk in the Pine Barrens. At Sion Cemetery, cemeteries I don't believe to be haunted, but there are a few that I have captured some good EVPs from and have had some activity. And at Sion Cemetery and Batstow Cemetery, ironically, both are very active.
I've always been back and forth on cemeteries. There was a time when I was all about cemeteries, in the early days, and then I got to a point where I think somebody made the comment a long time ago that said, well, the cemeteries are just where they're buried. That's not where they really die.
Right.
So, but then at the same time, I have gone back later on in later years here and kind of started going back to some of the cemeteries. And even though it feels like a rookie thing to do, but I've been kind of going back with fresh perspective and starting to get more activity. So I don't know if there's attachments or some of these places are battlegrounds or old battlegrounds, and there's history on the property.
Yep.
So, I honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that there's some cemeteries, I think some of the ones that are like modern where they've kind of cleared some trees, there was never any burial grounds or anything, and in some modern stuff, no battlefields, things like that. Those are probably are haunted, but I think some of these older ones and stuff tend to have a lot of history. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I mean, like I said, I haven't come across too many that I haven't come across too many where I love going to cemeteries. I love, especially Philly has Laurel Hill Cemetery. That cemetery is amazing. The mausoleums are the size of houses. Like, I mean, there's a lot of famous people buried in that cemetery. So it's cool to just go because I always make the mistake and call monuments because they are like extravagant throughout this entire cemetery. But they are, the headstones are just, I mean, so if you like to take photos, and of stuff like that, I mean, it's the best. It's awesome. But at Sion Cemetery, I got Class A EVPs out of there, and I think there are sometimes, if people are big into visiting their loved ones at their graves, I think sometimes maybe their energies can bring those energies there. And maybe that's what people feel when they're there.
Sure.
But I don't think that most cemeteries have anything,
Right.
I would do it to joke around. If I was a ghost, I would be like hanging out into cemeteries and fucking with people. Oh, can I say that word? I'm sorry.
Right.
I would be messing with people.
Right.
Messing with people.
So let me ask you something, because when you have a show and you have guests, there's a lot you get to put out about yourself out there, and with your guests, and so people I'm sure that watch your show have learned quite a bit about yourself. But I gotta ask, because I always like to ask this, what's something that people would be surprised to learn about you?
And it could be anything. Oh, geez. Well, it's a little bit of a quirky thing, I guess. I can't have black socks touch my feet.
Black socks touch your feet. Okay.
I can't. Yeah, they can't. So I have to wear like white socks. If I want to wear black socks, I have to wear white socks or gray socks or a different color sock underneath. I don't know why.
Okay. Well,
That's not something we go tell people. No.
That's cool. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that. Like I said, I always like to ask that because, again, especially when you're on, like somebody like yourself who's on regularly with your own. You're kind of always putting yourself out there. A lot of people know I share a lot with my audience and people that watch me all the time in my stuff. So again, that's why I like to ask that, because you got to get down
Yeah,
to
no, that's a good question. That is a good question.
So one thing I always like to ask too is so with ghost hunting, what do you feel is like your favorite equipment? Like what do you like the most equipment wise in ghost hunting?
Myself.
Okay.
I'm not a big equipment user. If I always have my recorder. I do have a full spectrum camera that I like to use if I can. But I always have my recorder. And then, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I just cannot rely that much on any of the equipment. And now, granted, I'm old school, so I don't even know half of the stuff that has come out lately. Like I see it, but damn if I know how to use it. Like I'll throw powder on the floor and see if you get foot. You know what I mean? I'm so old school that hi John, that I'm sure, and I've been on investigations with people, and they're like using these things, and I'm like, what the heck? But it's like these big things everybody's carrying around. I'm like, I just got my recorder over here,
Right. Well,
But
sometimes even some of the most simple stuff is still the most effective. It
yeah,
really is. So
yeah,
Shape, what's going on, buddy?
um,
So
yeah.
also, and this is another thing I love to ask people that are involved, and I think this is something you might respect as well, is how important is integrity to you, and what impact does it have on the field of paranormal?
Oh my gosh, integrity is everything, actually, to me, anyway. Um, there's unfortunately, because I do a show, it's hard for me to share my opinion about you know peers, I guess, if you would, um so I do try to reserve using names and stuff like that, but there are a couple of TV shows, like I think TV shows have totally threw it, I don't know, mainstream, and it just takes away some of the integrity, I guess, and in what we do, the research and helping, and um, private houses and stuff like that. And they don't show the good, that when you're helping a historic location or you're doing an event, that money is going towards the historic location, and you're seeing stuff being done positive with what we do.
Right.
um, so a lot of that stuff gets left out.
Yeah.
Um, I've been investigating for, since 2012. I have one apparition photo, one, you know, um, that's it. I have one photo. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
About
and then
right.
there's all these people that are like, I have this, I have that, show me this, show me that, and then everybody, but one. But I'm like so grateful and happy to have that one photo that I don't care if I ever get a photo again. I'm just like, this is it. So my favorite thing is to listen to, I don't know why, but listen to my audio, and listen for EVPs. I'm clairaudient as well, so I can hear, not all of the time, a lot of the time. So for
Okay.
me, it's validation, because I will say that out loud, what I heard, and then on the recorder, you're hearing exactly what I just said. So for me,
Right.
that's kind of like validation for myself.
Now I know, like, we all start noticing our gifts sometimes. Some of us, I know, like my wife is an empath, but she also has a few other abilities, and some she's starting to develop more as she's learning more about them,
Mhm.
with some precog and things like that. I'm also a little bit sensitive as well, and I've been developing and working on those things. What other abilities, you said you were, with the clear audio? What other do you have other abilities that you also utilize or anything?
My friends will yell at me when I say this, but I don't think so. They say I do. But because once in a while I will surprise myself, in a location or this and that, where, when I say something, it's like usually pans out and gets validated and it's right. But I'm not like that. When I go into investigation, I'm looking for man-made reasons why things are happening, so I'll go in and I'm if it's a private house, I'm not secret about it. I am opening drawers. I'm opening closets. I'm looking under beds. I'm like very nosy. So I do that everywhere I go to see if I can, any of the claims I can recreate. So that's my focus. I think if I focused more on the spiritual side of things, maybe I might pick up more on all that. So for me, it's just, that's how I do it, and usually I'll have somebody with me that has the ability to be able to, sense. I can sense things. I think I might be empathic where I can kind of feel the energy. And if I allow myself, I can go deeper into it, but I think I'm so focused on the stuff I can, maybe find that, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I definitely get it. And I would recommend too, like, one of the guys that's always here in the chat, Tatalanga, his name is Stacy Talich. You can find him on Udemy, and he's got some courses like remote viewing, and he's got some different courses I always recommend to people, because his guidance helps to develop some of these skills. So I decided to throw that out there. I'm not trying to always plug him, but I really
No,
do.
that's awesome.
He does a good job, and all my peers, I always tell them, hey, if you want to develop your stuff, go see him too.
Yeah.
He can really help with that.
I have ADD, most of us have something quirky, right? Can't sleep. We have anxiety, we're all night owls. We're all weird in some way, which is awesome. And I say that lovingly. I have ADD. And so I'm a very visual person. So for me, I could go into Penhurst 1,000 times and I still couldn't tell you really the history. I know the basic stuff, but when they walk you around and they tell you stuff, I'm too busy, squirrel, that I don't pay attention, which for me, later on, if I do pick up on something, if I do hear something or something like that, it's more validation for me because I don't remember what the heck anybody said about the place, so it's, so for me, I think it's a good thing.
Well, and Tata even just said ADD is perfect for remote viewers.
Really?
So,
interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why I said you need. I took this remote viewing course. It's amazing. I like that's one of my favorites. Like I really enjoy it. Like I said, you'll have to check it out. But Bob, we leave Bob for the comedy most of the time, and he has some good questions. Bob says my gift is I'm old and fat. Oh, Bob, we love you. But guys, hey, for those of you that are joining us, if I try to get a lot of comments in here. If you guys have questions, this is the show you can participate in. Feel free to get some questions in there. I've got some more coming up here. We're going to do some fun ones too, because I like doing fun questions as well. That way we get to learn a little bit more than, we talk about paranormal all the time, and that's great. And I love talking it, and we're going to keep talking it. But we got to learn some additional things about Taryn here. Like one, what would be, if you pass away and become a ghost, what's going to be your ghost outfit? What would you like for a ghost outfit?
I'm going to have to say I would want to pick, and this is the first thing that popped in my head, so I'm just going to say it, Wonder Woman. I don't know. That would be my ghost outfit.
But is that going to be the Linda Carter Wonder Woman, or is that going to be I think probably both seem cool. I haven't really watched a lot of the modern ones.
I think I'm going to go old school.
We own them on DVD. We just haven't watched them.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think I'll go old school. It'll make it a little bit more authentic.
Yeah. Tata always says he's Batman. He wants to be Batman that'd be weird having a ghost. It's like Batman. You're like, what the heck? That'd be freaky. That's almost like the New Jersey Devil, right? Doesn't it look like a bat almost, like a giant bat?
It looks just, I don't even know. I honestly think that is just how back in the day, like when people would have children that were deformed, or, they would either hide them or a Gettysburg get up. Yeah. Oh yeah. That would be cool. Oh yeah. It could be like one of the Southern Belle thingies, or when they used to wear those big flowy dresses.
But now it's political. It's politically okay to say you could be a soldier too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just
That's
saying,
true.
right?
Well, there were women that, faked it, they went into it. But I think that a woman had a deformed child, and I think it just kind of blossomed from there. And people now there's a Jersey Devil. I don't people that believe in that are my friend. I have friends and stuff like that. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen.
Right.
It's just or that it exists. I just haven't experienced it yet. So
Yeah. And Sharon, just to let you know, one of these days we're definitely going to come back to the house. Believe me, because we investigated the Eaton house and it was amazing. We were there a couple of times, so my wife wants to go back there. But yeah, Sharon, we're definitely going to go back there one of these times here. We've just got some filming we got to do, which I'll be announcing that soon. All right. She'll probably appear upside down at first. Oh, technical difficulties. Oh, so I guess this must be somebody that watches you here. They said she'll probably appear upside down first. Technical difficulties.
always, my show can never just go off without a hitch.
Look, I feel you on that. Most of the time, I'm facing the same like half the time, so I get it.
Yep. Yep.
Bob's question for Taryn: do you have a set of procedures or steps in dealing with clients who are really scared about what they are experienced?
Yes. Well, first of all, with people like that, and luckily, my last 5 private investigations have never ended in an investigation. I've talked to them and helped them through it, and not had to do an investigation. And for me, that's a successful case. If you wind up not having to do an investigation.
Okay.
But it depends on what their fears are. When I had one where there were kids involved. So that was just a little bit more important. So you're going over there and you're trying to think of ways to help the kids. But luckily, most all the clients listened to what you had to say and listened to you and trusted you. I'm saying you, but me, trusted us. I went out with a couple of people and I still check on them, and they're doing fine. Which is why I started the brew. The one thing that scares people the most are the shows. They watch the shows. Everything wants to kill Zach. Sorry, I'm not. I'm just saying. And everybody thinks that everything is something evil. And it's just not like that. And then once you kind of explain things to people, it tends to get better.
Yeah, well, Zach Baggins is a tough dude because I got to tell you, he won my Paranormal Battle Royale. For those of you that may not have seen my last couple of videos, I did a Sims 4 gameplay where I put a bunch of paranormal characters and locked them in a haunted house and seen which one lived. And I came in second. My character came in second, and I died, and Zach Bagans outlived me.
It's because of the medium shirts. They really help him out.
He was wearing a robe and slippers, though. He changed into robe and slippers. You guys have to check it out. I don't know if you like that kind of thing. It was for fun, and I'm doing something fun. I'm going to be putting the same 10 characters in another situation that I'm working on. It's going to be pretty cool. But anyways, oh, I know what I wanted to ask. So what's with the name? How did you come up with Paranormal Brew? I always like to ask.
So at the time, it was me and a friend of mine, Michael Brown. We said, how could we come up with something that just, what we want to do? We just want to have a round table, and either we're going to be drinking beer or we're going to be drinking coffee, one of the two, And he actually was like, Paranormal Brew. I was like, there it is. So that's how it happened. It was just, it was awesome. So we just knew that was it.
So what is one of your most memorable moments of paranormal?
To be
like epic. I mean, but as when you're involved in paranormal, there's certain moments that always stick out more than others. It can be comical if you want.
Geez. So, when you're not put on the spot, like I know I've talked about this a million times, just talking, and I'm always like, oh, I should remember this. I should remember this because when I get asked this question,
you're on the other side.
right? So I'm always like, yeah. Goodness, there's so many. I would have to say, paranormal wise, I would have to say that when I was in Gettysburg, I was at the Inn at Lincoln Square, and we were doing an investigation, and we stay in the room where it goes down to a basement has dirt on the floor. And the door is the original door. So there's like all this concoctions you got to do to open the door just to,
Right.
And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden you can hear the click, 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 and you hear the door knob, and you hear, whoo, and it just like it was so hard that it hit the wall. And we all jumped up. One person that was there he was the concierge for the inn, and he was like, I'm out. Because I don't want any more. I'm done. Right. But that was probably, seeing that and like seeing it with my own eyes. Like there was no wind, and it was so hard that it wasn't like something open. When you open up something and then like the door might do it this a little bit. I mean, it was like somebody like flew it open.
Right. Just
left a mark on the wall. I was like, thank God the concierge here knows that I didn't do this.
Yeah, that's always good when you have a witness, right? Like, I swear.
Yes.
No valid witness, like, I swear. So what was I gonna ask? I just was gonna ask something. Oh God. But now it's coming back on me. So but the biggest thing not the biggest thing, but one of the things I definitely wanted to ask you was what was there ever a moment in your paranormal time so far? Has there been a moment that's really kind of got to you, really kind of caused you to sort of break your character, so to speak, sort of break yourself, and has there been that moment yet?
Yeah. So, and I'm comfortable talking about it. I'm fine. So me, being a part of a couple of groups, there was always the small portion of our group that only dealt with negative cases. I was not one. I used to tell everybody, because they would say, oh, we have a green, red, if it was red flag case, it was, our special response team was going to go take care of that. Not me. So I've always been adamant that, I don't want anything come my way, even if it has like a pinkish hue, like leave it. I want Casper only. I want good times in Casper. That's it. Maybe Slimer, but that's as far as I'm going. So, I was always, pretty adamant about that. Now I feel like that side of things may have been like really trying to pull me that way, but I was like, yeah, no, ain't happening, nope. I got a huge St. Michael tattoo on my back, like the emblem and a St. Michael tattoo. And I'm like, this dude's got my back. I got my front. I'm good. But it was a dream. It actually was a dream. And in this dream, I was fighting a demon, and I could see it. It felt real. I was protecting a family. And I defeated it in this one house. And then I was like, it went to another house. I got to go, and I'm shortening this, and not giving too much details. Right. But it was very detailed. And I woke. The thing about it was, I woke up, and when I woke up and I started walking from head to toe, my muscles, I felt like I had been through like boot camp for the Marines. Like every muscle in my body hurt. I mean, not to be inappropriate, but even walking, when my boobs, like my muscles in my boobs hurt when I was just walking, and that scared me a little bit. I was like, that's a little too close for comfort. Whatever happened is a little too close for comfort for me. And I kind of backed off for a little bit. But I've been, knock on wood, good since. You know what I mean? But that kind
Right.
of like, flirting with that a little bit was, whew.
Now I know, like, I've never personally experienced that. I've had some certain things similar, but not anything near close. Now, but my wife's experienced that too. That's why, like, whenever you were saying, like, she's described the exact same thing, like when she woke up and it was like, she had just like gone to battle and
Yeah.
woke up just beat down.
Mhm.
So I'm sure she can definitely relate. So we got a couple questions for you. So I'm gonna get to them. Bob says, question: have you ever been on a case where the client's church got involved and accused you of heresy? What would you do?
Whoa. Oh, if
What
the
did you
church go.
do? What did you do?
Oh, no, never.
Okay. And then
Thankfully.
so that was a quick one. It was easy. It says, and I don't know who this Facebook user is. Sorry. St. Michael's got your back, but who's got your front?
Me.
Okay. And the shape says, what's your opinion on the scientists at the Hadron Collider? The Hadron Collider saying they proved ghosts can't exist.
I have no idea who that is or what that is. However, I think I have, questionable evidence that they exist than what somebody would have that they don't.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
how can you prove they don't?
And that's the thing is, like, that's
I mean,
what I would have to say, that if they're saying that they can't exist, I think that's I don't think there could be any science to that. They haven't been able to, like, how could they if they can't prove something is even potentially real? I don't
right.
know. It just doesn't sound right to me. Like, if they say that they can't, because
Yeah.
I know what the shape's talking about with the collider and dark matter, these type of things that they've been investigating, but I don't think there's just too much science unproven.
Right.
So there's no way anybody can make that claim. And to me, any scientist worth his weight cannot make that claim, because there's still too much unknown. There's still too many things. And if, in my opinion, if ghosts exist, then there's probably a form of energy that we have yet to be able to measure, obviously. So it's something that, again, scientists are not going to be able to find. But in any case, but
Yeah.
yes,
But we don't know what it is. How do we even know? I put up a question the other day. I'm like, what if the spirits we come in contact with are really people that are astral projecting? You don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying I believe in that or I don't believe in it, but
sure. But it's a
and
theory, right?
and I can't say ghosts exist. I can't say spirits exist. I don't know what it is that I'm communicating with. I have no
Right.
idea. So we as human have to put labels on everything. How do we know that, the Bigfoot that guy got isn't a ghost, or if you know what I mean? If you're going to put a label on everything, I think everything is kind of in one big circle. But what is it? You
Right.
don't
And
know.
Bob says, do you get most of your cases by word of mouth?
Yeah, actually.
Tata, of course, says you can't prove a negative. And Facebook user says, love the background, Josh. See, I'm not kidding when I say Facebook user. It says, love the background. By the way, the background was from when I actually I was at work and I was up on a mountain, and it was foggy. So I took the photo with my camera, and then I went back to Photoshop and I was messing with the sliders, and I
Mhm.
saw this, like, it turned it green and had like so I just kind of kept out. That was pretty cool. That was just a little story on that. What is your favorite person? Okay, so Beyond the Veil, Terry Lynn said, Megan Talbertast on Facebook said, who is your favorite person to ruin a
This is
paranormal?
one of my best friends, Megan Talbert. She's one of my best friends. Whenever we go to paranormal stuff, whenever there's paranormal events, we're roomies.
Right. Who's her favorite peach?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's the only bad thing about StreamYard. Sometimes, like I said, if people don't give permission or for whatever reason, if they just watch the stream and they're on Facebook, it just comes up as Facebook user a lot. But you can go also if you all have YouTube, my show, the Everything Paranormal Show, it's being broadcast on YouTube live as well. So you can switch over to live on YouTube and your name will come through as well. So just letting you know, all the YouTube names come through every time. So that was a bunch of questions, folks. That was awesome. I appreciate the participation. Another question I like to ask every single guest that comes on here. I try to get to every single one. For those of you, if I never asked you this question, too bad. So, so if you could go back in time for one day, and like as a ghost, and you're just observing one day in history, you can't interfere with it, you can't change history. But if you could go back to one day in history, when would it be and why?
I do say this all the time, so I'm just going to say it. Honestly, I would love to go back in time and spend one day in Gettysburg the day before the battles started there.
Okay, the day before.
Just to see what life was like.
Okay.
You know, because you see it now. You see the pictures during war. You see the picture. You know, I just would love to see that period of time.
Yeah, no, I mean that's cool. I mean, I can respect that. I had a feeling. I was wondering if you're going to go with Gettysburg on that. You know, we've had a slew of answers over the guests, everything from biblical to the pyramids to Tesla to what was one of them we just had, the recent one too. We had one that was different. It was Yorktown. Like into the Civil or the Revolutionary War. Things like that. It's pretty cool. I always love that question.
Yeah, it would have to be that. I couldn't go. Biblical is deep. I don't want to go back there. I just want to whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I don't want to know. There's things I don't want to know. Like I don't want to know what's at Area 51. I'm good.
I know so many people want to. It's like I think it's like 50-50, you know. There's a bunch of people that do, a bunch of people are afraid to know. I guess.
Yeah, no, that's me. I'm good. I have I don't know for a reason and I'm good.
Troy Haney said that he would be at Woodstock. That's a good one.
Sounds fun.
To witness that. I think that given the history.
As a ghost though, you said though, right?
Well, as a ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
He could watch it. Yeah, sure. You could spend the day watching Woodstock or day.
I mean, if I go back as a person, I definitely would. Like, I would be like, I'm going somewhere where there's like, you know, because you can't interfere with it. That would be the crappy part,
right?
You know, like tell JFK to duck. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Right. Oh, goodness. See, that's why I always try to avoid, like, you can't change history because, you know, when people that leads to things, right? When you say that you would change certain things, because then it's like that turns into a huge debate. Now, I just think, you know, observing history, it'd be really cool to see certain things like that one day in time sometimes can unlock. That's why I always said building of the pyramids, like one day of building of the pyramids, because I think it would unlock a variety of answers for me. I
to see how the hell they did that.
Right, but I don't know. I just think there's some mysteries, other things that all kind of comes back to the pyramids for some reason. So I think by knowing that, it might unlock some things unknowingly.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's interesting.
So what are your future plans? What do you got coming up?
Well, I think I said, or I have like a bunch of. I mean, I'm booked on the show up until mid-June. So I have a guest every week. Sometimes I have to have two people on, or two. I have to do two a week if it's just too far out, and you know, and somebody has something coming up that I want to get them on. But I've really branched out outside of just paranormal groups and like, you know, ghosty stuff. So you know, I have next week I have Paranormal Dares. It's called coming on. And you know, I've had like Dara Marston on, so like, but all those shows I've just uploaded back on, you know, but just doing my show and going to my fun events that I'm going to be going to, which I cannot wait, and I'm so glad that something is happening this year. Knock on wood.
Right.
You never know.
I know there was so much that was going to happen last year, and I was supposed to be booked into some events last year, and I had started my book signing stuff last year. There's a lot of things that were starting to happen, and then all of a sudden, stupid Couth happened.
Yeah.
Greg says, any particular day in Gettysburg during battle, Gettysburg address. But I think you might have missed when she said she wanted to be there the day before the battle.
Yeah, just the day before. Yeah.
Bob said, when will Josh be on your show? Oh, well, we talked about it, Bob. So I don't know. We'll have to work out a day.
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah. Yeah. I want him to come on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll see what we can set up. Again, it's all going to depend on her schedule because she's booked out, and then I'm getting ready to do a filming season here, so it's going to be rough because I don't even book guests. Like, you're booked way ahead in guests. Me, I'm just winging it. I got like maybe 2 more booked. I'm not even. I just been booking them as I go, and it's been rough just trying to keep up with things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going on, but yeah. But that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you got some stuff going. What is there a particular event you're going to be at that you want people to know about, or like, hey, here?
I mean, I honestly can't push phenomenology. Phenomenology in Gettysburg, the Battlefield Bash, awesome events. Gettysburg Battlefield Bash is in August. Phenomenology is in June. Phenomenology is more or less like a huge paranormal conference where people are, there's, guest speakers and lectures and stuff like that, but it's a party. It's so fun. It really is so much fun. And it's almost like a big paranormal family reunion. You know what I mean? Just everybody's just hanging out and having fun.
Right.
Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, the benefits to that actually go towards wounded warriors and sick children. So any of the benefits, they just put it all towards that, which is awesome. So those are, and then Fort Mifflin, July 24th. It's and then also September 25th, which it's like the biggest paranormal night of the year or something. So I'll be at Fort Mifflin that night, I believe. It's Selma Mansion, May 1st. I'm like coming up with all these things in my head now. Yeah. So I was just, it's cool. Check everything out. I have it all posted on the Bruce Facebook page. So
Darren says, so Darren Van Dam Mitchell says, you guys are PA people. I'm in Lancaster.
Yeah. Well, I'm sadly in New Jersey. I would love to be in PA. I want to move to Gettysburg, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm in Tennessee. We're not in Pennsylvania. I'm in Tennessee.
Oh, that's where my SRS Paranormal. I'm very good friends with them. They're from Tennessee.
Yeah, we've worked with them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, absolutely. I think even Al had popped on here earlier. Let's see. Can you?
Oh, I'd be interested.
Can see. Keep calm on your shirt.
Watch Joe Kenda.
See, Greg didn't. He's turning in late. See, because we covered the shirt earlier. But that's okay. Hey, better late than never. That's what I say. I appreciate all you guys. Again, and when do you do your shows? Like, just to let people know. So the guests that don't know about your show, when do you do your show?
Every Wednesday, 7:30. Will do if I need to, an extra one in the week, which is rare, but so that will be wherever. I do try to work around the guest, so it might not always be, but it's 98% of the time it's Wednesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, because I've made that mistake a couple of times in having a guest on and we didn't say, hey, I'm 4 hours behind.
Right.
So
I made that mistake.
Make sure I say that.
I've made that mistake too, so I can say that. And for those of you that maybe are guests to my show tonight, we do our show, or I do my show every Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I try to keep it the same every time. But then in between, I do a lot of lives. Like, I'll just go live. And lately I've been doing like weird like games that are paranormal related because, video games I haven't been able to play much of that until here recently. And my wife loves watching me play Sims, or she likes watching me play the scary games, like the VR scary ones. But I didn't reveal this yet till tonight, but I got on my VR now. I've got the
Jason cool. Look at that. That's neat.
We added the Jason wrap that my wife got me.
That's awesome.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm wearing my
That is
Nightmare on Elm
awesome.
Street. So Josh is anomaly. Josh is an anomaly in East Tennessee. He has all his teeth. God, come on now. This isn't Alabama. Come on. Jeez. Oh, Kendra, yes, and yes, I was late. Oh, yeah, Kendra, her show is fantastic. You should all tune in. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
That's
thank
why we have her
you.
on the show. We we were actually, this is just a quick story, but we actually was trying to have Paranormal Brew on this show last year when we were watching the
Yeah,
show. But somehow through communication, it was weird. And then out of the blue, she just messaged me, was like, "Hey, I'm just now seeing your," because they were going to be on the show last
yep,
year. So
yeah. And then by chance, he was like, "Well, my guest kind of bailed on me last minute tomorrow. You want to come on?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do
mhm.
it." It's like it's almost happened. It fate, like fate.
Yeah, and then Megan says, "I want VR so I can play Saber Beats." Oh yeah, Beat Saber. Yeah, uh, yeah, VR is really fun if you guys haven't played it. It's again, I normally haven't been a big gamer in the last couple of years, and so now I've been trying to catch up, and mostly for the channel, really, because it's been fun. And like I said, my wife kind of goaded me into like, there's this. She was like, "There's this game. It's on VR. And you get to use paranormal equipment." She's like, "You really need to do it for your viewers." I'm like,
That is so awesome. I'm gonna
yeah, I
check
was
it
like,
out.
okay, cool. I didn't know it's like an actual like make you jump scare kind of game, and you get trapped. Like you can get locked in these haunted houses, anyways. So,
That's
but
cool. I want to
yeah,
see
if you
it.
guys
That
want
looks
to see
so
me
cool.
scream like a little girl, you can go watch some of those videos on my stuff, and I do have some videos on my
I'm
my.
totally gonna share them on Facebook on my Facebook page,
Uh,
especially if you're screaming. I love it.
Yes, because I'm doing some of the Sims right now, and then but I will be picking back up with some more of the scary games again on the VR every once in a while. But we've just got some other stuff. We've got filming that's going to be a big announcement because we are looking at filming a series coming up. So there's a lot that we're getting ready to get involved
That's
in.
awesome. Good for you.
So,
Good for you.
but Bob says, Josh, give us an example of one of your screams. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to because this is about Taryn and not about my screams. Not
Well,
about my screams.
I think
Do you have any?
Taryn's a
Do you have
little
any
bit
shout
too.
outs, Taryn? That you want to? Do you have any shout outs to anybody?
I mean, shout out to my peaches. They're my girls. That's who's coming down. We're gonna be doing our thing. We call ourselves like the Paranormal Peaches, but they're gonna be coming down and we're gonna be doing our Bigfoot and Jersey Devil thing. I love them. PCINJ is their paranormal group. So I'll give a shout out to them and SRS. I saw they were on. I love those guys.
Yeah,
I have to make it to Tennessee. We keep on telling each other I'm going to come to Tennessee and we're going to do, we're going to do stuff together. So we keep saying this year, but I think it's going to be next year. I don't know, but
it's
hopefully
it's tough. It's tough to
it is.
travel sometimes, and like I even right before COVID, like I even went out and I think the furthest I ventured was Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, which was like a 6.5 hour drive. But it was, I mean, it was fun, but I mean, still, it's rough to travel right now, especially with all that stupid COVID stuff, and
I
everybody's
know.
so weird about it, and you just never know. Here in Tennessee, it's not too bad, but we still got a lot of masks and stuff, and it's not like fully 100%
Yeah.
here. It should be. That's just my opinion. But anyways,
Yeah. It's
so
not here either.
so other than that, guys, if you have any last minute questions, go ahead and try to squeeze them in here real quick because we're getting ready to wrap up. So guys, you need to check out Paranormal Brew if you haven't. Those of you that watch my show, hey, go check out her show again around Wednesdays. If you have to, hit the little thing, the little notification bells. And you said now you're on YouTube also. So folks, and that means subscribe to her. Hit the little notification bell on both my channel and her channel so you know whenever we're live. Period. See, that way you get that little notification, and
Yep.
and you can come and participate in our shows. Uh, and
Yeah. And also on BB3 TV. It's a new one. They just started. They came to me and asked me to stream on their whatever it is. See, I'm so
No,
technically not, I don't know what it is. A stream on their thing.
right. We'll just say the platform, right? We'll stream. You stream on their platform. So you
Yeah,
said it was
there
what?
we go.
BB. What was it again?
BB3 TV. So they're fairly new. So, I was their first streaming show. So, and they're looking for more. So if anybody wants to just get their name out there a little bit more, go ahead
Right.
and, you know,
And don't forget, folks, to check out Paranormal Underground magazine. Go to paranormalunderground.net. And remember, if you go there and you send them in, just send them a message or whatever, say, hey, Josh sent me from the Everything Paranormal show, and you will get a free year. You're going to get the magazine sent to you in your email, digital form, high definition photos, all that stuff for an entire year. So if you haven't subscribe to Paranormal Underground magazine, I highly recommend you do. And also coming up again, guys, I'll probably be going live again either tomorrow night or this weekend for some major announcements on some upcoming things that we've got going on here. So anything else? Is there anything you can think of, Taryn, that you got coming up? I think you pretty much said everything on there, huh?
I know, right? See, you didn't know I was going to be so talkative.
But no, I like to try to get as much as whatever you want to plug. I don't care. Like that, none of that bothers me. I'm like, hey. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next video. Remember, seek the truth.
Yes, yes.